Thank you for watching EVH Gear Discussion. Brought to you in part by VanHalenStore.com.
Hey everyone, welcome to EVH Gear Discussion, the weekly EVH talk show officially recognized by the Van Halen News Desk and sponsored by VanHalenStore.com. From Ontario, Canada, I am your host, Eric Broadbent, for this brief episode. You know what's really cool is this going to be one of the very last times that I have to say all this, because now I have a professionally produced intro, commercial, voiceover, that I don't have to say that anymore, because sometimes when that light goes on, I'm like, welcome to whatever. And you're not going to hear EVH Gear Discussion anymore. You're going to hear EVH Gear TV, the new branding of the show, new branding of the name. There's still going to be discussion. But I figured with EVH Gear TV, it encompasses more than just the discussion. The discussion is probably 80% of the nucleus of the show. By discussion, I mean the interviews with the celebrity guests and friends and things like that. But there's also going to be a lot of things outside of that box. That's going to be the jams, the product demos, updates from the road, and all kinds of stuff outside. That's outside of a normal discussion. So with a lot of careful thought, EVH Gear TV, I was able to secure the domain name evhgear.tv. And that's really nice as well, too. YouTube was able to, YouTube partner support was helpful to help me change the YouTube name as well. So it's youtube.com/EVHGearTV. It's going to be lots of fun. It's got a bunch of people joining in the chat. What I'm going to be doing, two things here, twofold. First thing I'm going to do before we get into unboxing a really cool guitar is I'm going to show you some upgrades I did today. Adam Reaver, my brother from another mother, sent me a nice surprise package today. I knew something was coming from him. I had no idea what it was. Sent me some nice parts to upgrade my long-time classic favorite USA PV Wolfgang, and he also sent me enough parts to upgrade my EVH Stripe series, the black and white one back there. And those are the only two remaining guitars that haven't been food-toned. So I'm going to show you quickly the PV, and I'll show you what it looks like and stuff like that, tell you a little bit about the upgrade process, and we'll get right into the unboxing of the new guitar. Really cool, really exciting times right now. I'm extremely happy with the way things are going with the show. It's all because of you guys and girls that have made the show what it is. It's still very small compared to some of the people I follow on YouTube and that, and some people that are coming on the show and things like that too. Small compared to their channels, but it's growing rapidly, quicker than I ever expected it, and I'm very thankful for that. So I'm going to take a quick second, jump over to the chat. So this will more than likely, like I say, be the last time you're going to see the intros the way you just saw today. There's going to be a lot of different things which I can't mention until I have the official green light from another party, but it's going to be pretty darn cool, I promise you that. So let's go over to the chat. We have 28 people watching right now. That's fantastic for Tuesday night. So Quentin James says, need my address. Spence Oz says, who else is watching the countdown? Troy Broadwell says, let's see this beauty. Darren Moore says, 2,800 plus subscribers, less than 200 to go before you can start the giveaway. Let's get them. Spence Oz says, I have a strong feeling that during the countdown, Eric just sits in a spinny chair and just swivels around a little and stares at his toes. You know what? When the day comes when I can get a producer for the show, or even an intern to do the job, whatever, I might be able to do that. I would love to be able to just sit there and spin around in circles. I don't get that luxury yet. Trust me, it's right up until the minute I go live. It's getting stuff done. It's a process, but that day will come sometime where I can spin around and have some fun before I go live. Let me see. Spencer says, wouldn't that be funny if Quentin won and you needed his address anyways? My buddy Sam 5150, Sam VH 5150 saying, let's do this. Had Sam on the show the other day and got some, I think it was on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, one of those days. And he was well received by fans. He was telling us kind of a nice little 4 or 5 day or 4 or 5 concert trip venue thing that he took in. Everything from Avenged Sevenfold to Devin Townsend and a bunch of different things like that. Billy Idol, which was great, and the fans really enjoyed Sam on the show. And I'm going to have him on at least every other month or something at least, because he's a great guest, good friend more than anything else, but a great guest as well too. So check that episode out after the show tonight too. And this won't be a long one tonight, I promise. Poison Ivy says, hey folks, nice to have Poison Ivy in the chat. And Sam saying hi to Poison. Troy Broadwell, what's happening, Poison? See, Poison's very well liked here in the chat as well, too. It's nice to have her part of the show. And a big support of the show. So you guys know what? Give her a round of applause, because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing here right now. She's one of the best encouraging people that I could ever be involved with, surrounded with. So surround yourself with good people, and they make you good people. Let me see here. Cat Dumpling says, hey, I finally made it to a live thing for the first time in like 3 weeks. Ty Z says, what's up, everyone? Cloreen Baconskin, have not seen you for a long time. A very long time. A long time no see. That's right. Very happy to have you back. And now Eric needs to get a new banner with a new name. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna keep some of that promo for a little while, and I don't want to just rip off a Band-Aid and it's gone, because people are gonna, what happened to EVH Gear Discussion? So I'll probably keep that for a little bit. But yeah, it's one of those things. I just printed off new business cards, got like 1,000 business cards with EVH Gear Discussion, and then and I changed the name. But I feel I made a good decision by changing the name. TV encompasses all of it. I think it's gonna be pretty cool. Let me see. So Dan Willate says, hey, Eric, how's it going? Very good. Dirty Apes Inc. says, hi. Spencer, I'll get a new banner with some EVH stripes on it. Yeah, I want to be kind of careful with the stripes. I don't really necessarily have, official, I don't have, permission to use that. So I'd probably stay away from that. Let me see. Howie Zowie. All right, man. Howie Zowie is great. He says, just show me the guitar already. I got to finally meet Howie. We've been friends for a while on Facebook, quite a while. Canadian buddy. And went down to London to see a client this past, just a couple days ago. Yesterday, was it? I'm really bad for timing. I think it was yesterday. And went down to London and got to meet Howie. And great discussions with him. It was awesome. I brought him some EVH gear swag down there. It was cool. Really, really good dude. Carlo Santin says, this is awesome. Dirty Apes, I'm in love with white no trim Charvel, but hey, I could use a Wolfgang. I need to full tone my Wolfie. Yes, will you show me this Wolfie that he's got down there? And reach out to Adam Reaver, and he'll put you in the right, because that's a kind of a custom one that you've got there. How you're going to want to maybe reach out to Adam, tell him what you've got with that tremolo and things like that, and he'll put you in the right direction with the proper block. All your stainless steel hardware and titanium stuff will be all consistent like everything else, but the block may be, I'm thinking you're probably going to need a 37 L block in that guitar. He'll tell you for sure. That's Adam at fu-tone.com, and he'll help you out. And thank you, Adam, for the stuff you sent me today. Let me see here. Darren Moore says, there's a green light behind you. Yeah, if you can see that, that's the, I still got the lunchbox turned on. I've been playing a lot today in between work. Hi from Quebec, Mike Thorne, 66. Let me see here. I scrolled too fast here. What did I see? Bear with me here. Oh, there you go too. Yeah, that's right. Howie always says, I know a producer that lives nearby. Hey, I'd be willing to talk to you, man. Unfortunately, that doesn't pay a lot right now, but might be able to get you hooked up some other way. Troy Broadwell. Let me see. Who else I missed? Chlorine. Long time to see. I missed somebody. Oh, there we go. I left off at Mark. Will Dunham's joining us. Hey, Will. I hope you're doing very well, buddy. Fart I Kill Noobs. Haven't seen this dude in a long time either. The first time I mispronounced his name. I think that's one of the coolest names. I think I call him like Fart Knob or something like that at one time. I couldn't read his name. Fart I Can Noob. Kilt Noobs. I love that name. And cool. YouTube fixed my name. That's from Howie. And Poison is rad. Not the band, Sam says. Your mom is joining. Nice, man. We got your mom in the house. Gino Ames. I feel like I'm honored tonight. I've got all my famous friends. The people that joining. That's really, really cool. And when I say my famous friends, I mean all of you. These guys are the household names. Love you guys all. Mr. Hollywood, I have a thing for EVH guitars. I don't know quite why. There's just something about them. Oh, wait, it's because of Van Halen. Very, very well said, Mr. Hollywood. Cat Dumpling, I do like the name. It's a better ring to it. Thank you, referring to EVH Gear TV. I really like it. See, I worked in radio just like Howie Zowie here in the chat. He's worked in radio for a lot longer than me, but I worked in radio for about 7-8 years recently, leaving this last winter, 2016. And one of the things I learned about radio is, even though radio is a different beast today than what it was years ago, I always think of advertising, and I would always say to people, how does it sound when you hear a commercial on the air, right? Whether on the radio or even TV? And if it doesn't sound good being spoken, it's probably not a good name. I'm not saying EVH Gear Discussion wasn't a good name. I picked it, so obviously it's a good name, I feel. I didn't think I made a wrong choice. I just think EVH Gear TV flows. And it sounds good on radio, sounds good and when I say it, when other people say it, so that's my decision in making that. So radio taught me a lot. Advertising, right? Alan Speak, very excited for all your future announcements. Yes, many coming. Thank you, Alan. Mr. BHB Jr., hey everyone. Thomas Santiago, hello Eric and everyone in the chat. Let me see here. Citizen Kane, what's up, good people? Pal Guitar saying hello. Quentin James shared on Face Planet, and Sinner is joining. Sinner, I was just saying a minute ago, all the famous household names of the guitar shows are in the chat tonight, and I'm very thankful to have all of you here. All right, so I'm going to just highlight where Sinner said yo, and that way hopefully I won't miss any of the chat. It goes by pretty fast. 43 people watching right now. So first thing first, Adam Reaver sent me some really cool goodies today for my guitars. Totally unannounced. I mean, I knew there was a box coming, but I had no idea what it was. And I said, don't tell me what it is either, because I want to be surprised. So I'll show you some parts here, because I've already done one guitar. So I've got an L block for the EVH Stripe Series guitar. You can see the futon on there. Whoop, where's my screen? Very, very nice. And a whole bunch of stainless and titanium hardware. So that's going to be going on the EVH Stripe, the black and white one. And I'm waiting. I was saving some of the NYXLs from D'Addario. I figured, you know what? When the day comes, I'm going to upgrade that guitar, which I figure is going to be soon. There's no sense ripping off the strings, putting on the block, whatever, and then putting the old strings back on. So now I got everything. I'm going to do this guitar probably tomorrow. But I'll show you the USA PV Wolfgang, which was my main guitar on the road for years. Excuse me. And it's now becoming one of my main guitars again. Whoops, just loosened my microphone. That wasn't good. One sec. So you guys have seen me play this guitar a lot on the show. I absolutely love this guitar, and I'm just going to minimize my text messages because you can see the reflection in the guitar. Can't have some of those being shown. So where are we at there? All right, so there you go. Beautiful, beautiful guitar. Actually, it's more beat up than what it looks, but you can see now I've got all the stainless saddle mounts right there. Now I had the titanium inserts here already. I had those. But I've got all the stainless steel string lock blocks, or the whatever you call them, saddle mounts, whatever. I've got those, and then I actually did the big block on the back that Adam sent me, and black noiseless springs. I had a couple extra black noiseless springs. This thing plays like an absolute $1,000,000. Look at that neck on that thing. Can you see that? I just love the bird's eye on this neck. Patent pending. This is a workhorse guitar. I did all the special decals and things like that. The chrome pickup rings. I really like this guitar. It's a real workhorse. Absolutely love it. So that was the one done today with all the parts that Adam sent me, and I'll do the striped series tomorrow. It only took me about a half an hour overall, but I don't like to do a bunch of these at one time. I'd rather do one day and one the next. So you know what we're gonna do now? We're gonna actually get into the contest guitar. Let's have a look at that. So to give you an idea, a while back I said when the YouTube channel hits 3,000 subscribers, I'm going to give away a guitar. And I kept my word. I always keep my word here. When I say I'm going to give something away, I'm going to give something away. And this year is going to be a year of giveaways. And it's one thing you're going to come to expect on EVH Gear TV. There's going to be giveaways after giveaways after giveaways. The first one is going to be an EVH Gear Wolfgang standard guitar in the beautiful Mystic Blue metallic finish. Very, very nice. It's got the Floyd Rose and everything on it as well. And I don't have it here in front of me, but I'm going to get a EVH Gear gig bag as well. So the guitar will come to you, the lucky winner, with an EVH gig bag as well too. And when I can finally make this other announcement in a few days, so I was hoping to be able to make it today. It's probably going to be, hopefully be able to announce it before the big show with Mark Tremonti on Thursday. It's going to allow insane giveaways on the show as well too. So you're going to come to expect great giveaways from EVH Gear TV. So we're very, very close to 3,000 subscribers. So once 3,000 subscribers rolls over on the YouTube channel, I'm going to be doing a live show that day, whatever day it is, whatever time it is. I'll make an announcement to say I'm doing a show that night. You don't necessarily have to watch the show to figure out how to get into the contest. And I'm not even 100% sure how I'm running the contest yet. I've got about a week with the way the subscribers are coming in right now. I've got probably about a week before this contest rolls out. I wasn't 100% happy with how the last contest was run. I gave away a bunch of stuff from a lot of people last year, from EVH Gear, from myself, from Van Halen Store, from Tessie Switch, from Futon, from there's Peddle Snake. There's a whole bunch of people in that really big package. And I used one of those typical social media sharing type contest engines, and I ran on the website. And the good thing about it was I got a lot of likes and a lot of shares and things like that. However, it opened up the doors for a lot of sweepstake people, and I'm not knocking sweepstake people. Everyone in the free world is entitled to enter a contest and win. There's nothing against that, but a lot of people entered that probably have never played a guitar in their life, and would just want to get the stuff and sell it. And you know what? I would rather see something like you guys in the chat, guy or girl in the chat, that's going to get a guitar and be proud of it, play it, take pictures with it, just have fun, play for your family. That's what I really want. So I'm weighing out a few different options. I have an idea where I'm going with it, but I promise you this way, it's going to be a fair contest, and 3,000 subscribers is going to be the kickoff, and I'll run it for 30 days from that date, and it's going to be fast. So if you got some friends and family that you think might like the channel, tell them to subscribe. It gets the contest starting a lot quicker. I've had over 60 subscribers just in the past day, so it's been a real, for this channel, that's a lot of subscribers. That's probably like equal to like 6,000 in a couple days for some of these other channels. It's pretty neat. All right, so I'm gonna try to make sure I don't lose anything here. Okay, bear with me for a second. I just want to make sure I save this because there's a lot of good comments coming in. 52 people watching right now. That I really appreciate that. All right. So there we are. All right. So the guitar arrived today. I wasn't even expecting it today. This is from obviously from EVH Gear TV and from my good people at EVH Gear who have been really good supporting me as an EVH artist for the past almost, I guess, close to a decade. Very close to a decade. Very thankful. They've been greatly taking care of me. So let's get right into it. I'm going to push aside the PV so I don't knock that over. All right, and I may miss some of the comments in the chat, so I apologize if I miss those. And maybe Poison Ivy will alert me if there's anything that was said that was important I needed to answer. In case I miss that, I'll get to it. So let's crack this baby open and have a look. And just the reason why the reason why I'm open is I want to make sure everything's okay with it. If there's any setup that needs to be done on it, or any damages or anything like that, and then it's going to go back in the box, kept in a climate-controlled room here as well too, so there'll be no damage to it. And whoever wins this guitar is going to have a pristine guitar. All right. I'll try to keep care of all the styrofoam and everything too, just so everything can go back in nice and neat. Silica gel. All right, so far so good. All right, so we got the whammy bar and all the accessories right there, and I just did something completely crazy on my keyboard. All right, well, now I have the chat in full screen, so that's a good thing. All right. This is a real unboxing. This isn't one of those open it from the bottoms. And all right, so far so good. We've got 6 strings on it. Nothing's broke. And you know what? I would never blame EVH Gear. I would blame the darn carriers that ship this stuff. First impressions, okay, I'm telling you right now, first impressions, I haven't even seen the guitar. The neck on this thing feels better than my Purple Standard. Absolutely beautiful. Silky satin. Way better than my Purple Standard. It is. Here we go. Holy wow. Look at that, would you? Let's pull off you know what? I won't even take that off. I'm not even going to take off the styrofoam over the knobs. We'll keep that on there. There you go, guys. The neck is absolutely to die for on this guitar. I noticed it right away. Just your typical rock maple, but really nice figuring in that too. Better than my standard I have. Look at that. This is a beautiful guitar. Black Floyd. Just waiting for some futon. There you go, guys and girls. That's a guitar. Someone's going to win that one. What do you think? Looking pretty good? One more look. I'm going to go carefully put it down on the cardboard so I can continue to discuss. So that's going to be the giveaway. As soon as the 3,000 subscriber comes in to the channel, the contest will start that day and will run for 30 days. I will get the winner of the guitar a EVH gig bag as well too. And there's going to be a lot more stuff to follow after that. So let me carefully put this down, all right? All right, so I'm going to jump back over to the chat. Let's have a look, see what I might have missed. And I can actually see everything in full screen now. This is kind of good too. So I went back too far. Where did I leave off here? I hope everyone's having a good evening tonight. So Gino Ames is saying, bravo, good sir. Will Dunham saying, very respectful. Mr. Hollywood, I have a thing for EVH guitars. I don't know why. I think I might be repeating myself here a little bit, but that's okay. Will Dunham says, cool, one day at a time. Cat Dumpling says, I do like the new name. It's a better ring to it. Yeah, I know for sure I said that. So Alan was saying, very excited for all your future announcements. One of those announcements is another electronics company that I'm working with as well too. So I'm looking forward to announcing that. Plus another company is going to be sending me some stuff. I'm anxious to tell you about that as well too. Really, really cool. Like I say, I don't like to announce anything until I have all my I's dotted and T's crossed, just for legalities and things like that. So, but it's fun to talk about, that's for sure. Will Dunham says, hi everyone. Thomas Santiago says, everyone in chat. Okay, yeah. Citizen Kane says, what's up everyone? And you know what? Noobs is easier. Let's go with that. I'll call you Noobs. That way it's easier to get that name right. Thank you, Quentin James, for sharing on Face Planet. And there we go. Sinner was where I left off. I've read a bunch of extra ones. And Spence says, you got all the friends here because of the title. Sean Huddleston says, what's up, EVH Gear TV? Hey, buddy. Very cool to have you here, Sean. Sean's been sharing some really, really cool video game posts on Facebook. He's been cleaning all his old NES cartridges and stuff like that. Very, very cool. Whereas, a lot of us used to just take them and blow into the cartridge. He takes them all apart, and cleans them up with alcohol and all that kind of stuff. Really, really cool. I've been watching some of that. Really neat. Mr. BHB Jr. says, hey, Sinner, Jared Frost, good evening, fellas. And sorry if you said something earlier, Jared, and I missed you. I'm not sure. I think I saw your name earlier as well, too. So we got into the guitar from Ty Z, wants to see the guitar. Eric got to rock a Wolfgang through the lunchbox head today at Guitar Center. Rad tone. Oh, Gino did. Very nice. Was it the lunchbox 1 or 2? Either one is great. It is great. The funny thing is, too, you see the lunchbox back there. Darren Moore was the first one that commented and said he saw the green light on. I don't play on any other channel other than that green channel. I leave it on the green channel. I don't use the dirty channel, which is a great channel. I keep it on the clean channel, and I use the MXR 5150 overdrive for my distortion, and I absolutely love it. It's to die for, actually. Let me see here. So, Dirty Apes, I saw that there was a 5150 EL3451 on Facebook. Is this true? I have not seen such a thing. I don't believe that is true at this moment, unless there's something that's coming out, summer NAMM, winter NAMM, whatever. I don't know. I don't have that information yet, so your guess is as good as mine. Let me see here. So John Peacock says, hey guys, sorry I'm late, Eric and everyone. No problem at all. Jared Frost, Futone stuff is the greatest. It's going to wake up the standard to be a beast of a guitar for not a whole lot of money. Agreed, for sure. That's right. So if you guys, whoever wins this guitar, you can spend like about $150 and you can have state-of-the-art stuff from Futone, and you're going to have a guitar that's going to be equal to like a $1,500 guitar as far as playability. Guarantee you that, especially with that neck. That neck is absolutely amazing on that guitar. Every guitar is a little different. They're all good, but some pieces will stick out as a real special piece. And that neck on that guitar, I felt it right away. It's a beautiful, beautiful neck. It blows away my other ones that I rave over all the time. So very, very cool. Let me see here. Citizen Kane says, never seen that PV. That is sick. Yeah, I play that one a fair amount on the show. Take a look back at some of the older videos. There's some where I'm playing live and doing some demonstrations, and it's been with me on the road for a very long time. It was my workhorse for years, and I'll never get rid of it. Noob says, I got some of those Paradigm strings, trying to wear my strings out so I can install them. Very, very cool. And he also says, sweet guitar. Mr. BHB Jr. says, that guitar looks nice. Upgrades too. Yes, and Alan Speaks as a Finding Core Classic. That's what that PV Wolfgang is. That's the Finding Core Classic. And Scott Tucker says, can't wait for the Thursday night show. That's going to be a fun one. And it was really funny about that too. And actually, I think I have a text message coming in, and it's usually important when it comes in. And bear with me for a second. And let me see here. So, yep, I have a director here that's really good at giving me instructions, and it helps me. It keeps my flow, which is really good. Sometimes I get totally off track. But where was I going with that? I was saying Thursday night, Mark Tremonti. This was a really, really funny story. We'll talk about this on the show with Mark Tremonti too on Thursday. But I was expecting the call to come from Mark. From Mark Tremonti. There was word that he was going to be reaching out to me as well. And so I had an unknown call on my phone, and I wasn't going to answer it. And I let it ring about 5 times, 6 times, and I was going to say, it's probably a bill collector or a solicitor or somebody of the nature, if one of these get-rich-quick thing, or you've won a free trip around the world, whatever. And I was like, I'm not going to take that call. I thought, what the heck, I will. So anyways, I answer it, and he goes on, he starts talking for a second. I said, oh, I'm sorry, who'd you say this was? He goes, oh, it's Mark Tremonti. and I had to get my stuff together very quickly because I was like, okay, now I got to be on my, on my toes, right? And I had actually a very, very nice call, probably about a 15, 20-minute call. Talked about the show, where it's going to go with, the questions and things like that, and said, it's going to be a real guitar geek fest. And he loves it because he likes talking gear. And I've got some really, really cool stories. I'm going to ask him, and some obviously some insider things too. A few different people give me a couple really cool tidbits to ask him. I have a great itinerary. I don't think I'm going to get to all the questions. I think I have about 18 questions, and on average show, I usually have around 10, 12 questions. So I know there's going to be some extra left over, but thanks to Chris at J Rocket, gave me a really good question that's going to bring up a story. Excuse me. And John Storms as well too. I was talking to John Storms on the phone last night, and he gave me a couple of really cool tidbits as well, because he's a huge Mark Tremonti / Alter Bridge fan. And so I'm going to mention one of his things as well too. It's going to spark some conversation. So that's going to be phenomenal. That's going to be usual time, but on a Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you go to the EVH Gear Discussion Facebook page, facebook.com/EVH Gear Discussion, go to events, and I've got an event created for the evening. If you want RSVP, go on there to say you're attending, whatever. It'd be great to see the amount of people that are going to show up. There's a lot of people showing up already, or saying that they're confirming they're showing up. Do the same thing if you can, and share it with your friends. It'd be great. This would be really, really cool for respect to Mark Tremonti, just to really give him a great audience. Don't forget about me. Let's show the respect to Mark. To have the great guest that he is, a superior guest, to have a nice audience for him. It's like when you're a musician playing in a club. You don't, instead of playing for 50, you want to play for 500 or 5,000 or whatever the case may be. The more people are in the crowd, the better the performance is. So I think we'll get a big turnout on Thursday night, and we could have a phenomenal show with Mark. It's going to be great. Really looking forward to it. Then obviously right the next day, this doesn't usually happen night back to back like this, so it's keeping me on my toes. But Robert Baker's on the show Friday night. People have been requesting Robert for the longest time, and I'm thrilled. Had a couple of calls with Robert. Had a call with him last week on Skype. We're talking about each of our channels and the growth of the channel, and asking him some advice, and things like that. And he's got some wonderful things coming up as well. So people are going to love that as well too. So really keeping me busy. I got a buddy coming over tomorrow actually. So it might even be, I've got a lot of work to do tomorrow, but I'm going to take some time off for a little bit. I got an old high school buddy, Rob, coming over, and it's pretty cool. He's got one of my old guitars, and so he's going to bring it back. It's like a Les Paul style, and he's going to bring it over, and I'm going to see my old baby from years ago. I'll show you that really quickly. Might do a live broadcast and just introduce you to Rob, and we'll have some fun just to catch up for a little bit. So I might go live for a little bit in the afternoon. It'll be an early one in the afternoon for sure. Let me see here. What did I miss? So Bon Scott, let's see the new guitar. Quentin James, I can't seem to post a long comment. I'm not sure why. It shouldn't be a problem with that. So yeah, he's just doing some tests. And Jared Blue says that Mystic Blue is pretty color on the standards. Yeah, it would be really cool if they made that one in the metallic blue with the transparent. That'd be really cool. And Jared actually has one of the transparent blue ones. There's transparent blue and then there's transparent purple like I have. Jared's got the blue one. And they're both very deceiving. Under the different lighting, they can look different. Jared's can look purple. Mine can look blue. It's really weird the way the white balance can mess those up. Pretty guitars, though. Let me see here. So Spencer says, hopefully my bass player is late today. Want to actually watch a live show for once. Yeah, tell him to take his time. Citizen Kane says, thanks for the giveaways, Eric. Very cool. Good luck to all. Okay, there you go. Darren Moore says, Quentin, the comment can't be more than 200 characters. Stupid YouTube thing. And that's a fair amount. That's like what about 2 full text messages kind of thing. Is it like on a cell phone, right around that neighborhood? You're very welcome for the giveaways, and I promise to keep doing a lot of those. I tell you, this thing is just scrolling like crazy. Bear with me here. Okay, Citizen Kane says, tell all your people about the channel. Okay, so a lot of people commenting, really enjoying the guitar. Sam says, opening up a brand new EVH Wolfgang out of the box is one of the greatest feelings. It is a very, very cool thing. Bane Rocks, I didn't see him. That's my boy, Bane Rocks, saying Spicy. It's very, very cool. I know he saw the guitar here today in the box. He goes, oh, can I look at it? I said, you're going to have to see it at 8 o'clock tonight when everyone else sees it. Didn't even open up for the boy. Let me see here. Quentin James says, 6 strings. I'm going a little bit backwards here because I missed some. Ken Bear says, very, very cool. And Jared Frost says, they really do a good job of packing those guitars, but I do wish they all had cases, whether it be a soft or hard shell. Yeah, I do wish that. I would assume if they were to give cases away with the standards, it would have to be a gig bag. The specials were nice, and as some of you will know, when the Japanese ones were made, they came with a nice hard shell, the striped hard shell case. I have that with my my made in Japan special. I really like that. But obviously, there's decisions made, saving a little bit of money and things like that. The cost of manufacturing could have gone up in different places as well too. So that obviously making decisions to not include the cases. Let me see here. What else have I missed? I know I might have missed some. Eric is checking in. Another Eric. Let me see here. How close are we to the contest? I'm not sure if that's been answered. Oh, okay, they're just less than 200 away. Will, yeah, I think we're somewhere around 150, maybe even a little bit less than that. I can have someone. Check. So Citizen Kane says 51 watching, 17 thumbs up, and Bane Rocks is saying hello, Dad. Sorry I missed you there, buddy, a few minutes ago. And Bane Rocks is doing a great thing on his YouTube channel as well too. If you've got kids, he does a lot of gaming demos and live reviews and all kinds of fun stuff as well too. So tell your kids to look up Bane Rocks, Banerox on YouTube. Really, really cute. Okay, I'm going to go back to the very bottom and come backwards a little bit. I'm going to just actually minimize this a little bit too, if I can. Let's do this 1 second. I don't even know if I can. I'm just going to leave it the way it is. I dropped something on the keyboard and it made everything go full screen here. Let's see what else we got here. Randy Clark is joining. Billy Shelton. Hey, Eric. Good to see you, Billy. Bon Scott says, do all the brass blocks fit the standards? On the standards, you're going to need to do a little bit of filing or routing. There's a weird kind of, instead of being like a rounded rectangle route that you'd see on most guitars that have a Floyd, it's like a rounded rectangle with a small little semicircle on the end of it, almost like, I can't even give you an example of it, but it's a little bit of a rounded. So what you have to do is you have to either take a Dremel tool or a file. It'd be a heck of a lot easier if you had a Dremel tool and just extend that route a little tiny bit. I'm not sure if Adam has a video on Futon or not, but if you reach out to him, he'll explain that to you. But there's just a tiny bit of wood that you have to shave off, because what will happen when you do a dive bomb on the standard, the block will actually hit the back of the cavity, and that will stop right then and there the arc going forward of the tremolo or the whammy bar arm. So there is a bit of routing. It's not a hard job. I haven't done it myself. Adam did it on mine, but a lot of us here, Jared Frost has done it. A lot of the people in the chat have done it. Very, very easy process. If you don't have a Dremel tool, you could simply get away with a file and just file down, and it wouldn't be a bad idea too to put a little piece of masking tape on the top of the guitar so you're not taking off any paint as well too. You won't chip it as much, and probably, I don't know which file to use, but you're not going to want to use a very coarse file. Nothing that's like a planer, just a simple file, and that wood's pretty soft, so it'll be pretty easy to take off. But you're going to probably want a 37L block, I believe, on that guitar, and you can get those as well at, like I say, at fu-tone.com. It'll be like this. It'll be like that style, like that. Let me see here. So Will Dunham says he likes the finish. And Howie Zowie says, I'm going to have to come on the show soon. Yes, I would love to have you on the show soon. I've invited you before. You should do that for sure. I'd love to have you on, especially with your radio experience and everything else. Plus, you know what? Howie's got some of the greatest stories. I know he won't be upset with me sharing a couple. Howie was guitar tech for Dweezil Zappa. He's very good friends with Dweezil Zappa. I got to actually see Frank Zappa at the age of 9 years old. Really, really cool story he shared with me yesterday. This is really, really cool. I don't let little Eric, who's 11 years old, walk to the corner store by himself. Howie, at the age of 9, got on about 3 different buses, connecting buses down in Los Angeles, whatever, and went to see Frank Zappa at the age of 9. That's pretty awesome. He was also a guitar tech for Peter Frampton. Some great stories. So I'll get him on the show, and we'll share some awesome guitar stories. So that's great. That's definitely a guest I know you people all like for sure. Let me see here. Jared Frost is saying, I'm totally going to watch that. Mark Tremonti is one of my favorite guitar players. He's a huge EVH fan, of course. I remember watching him several years ago in Eddie Trunk, that metal show. They were talking about Van Halen's first album and how it influenced him and Miles Kennedy. For sure. And there's going to be some really good questions, too. There's going to be a lot of Van Halen content on the show on Thursday, for sure. Obviously, because Mark is not only friends with Wolf himself, but he's friends of the family. So there's going to be some cool Van Halen questions. Trust me, I got this itinerary jam-packed. And one of the questions is I'm going to give you a little bit of a sneak peek of what you get to expect. One of the questions is going to talk about Mark Tremonti not only getting to hear a different kind of truth, before it was released, but getting to see Wolfgang, Alex, and Eddie perform it at 5150 Studios, no Roth, obviously, just the whole album in its entirety. And we're going to get to hear Mark tell us what it was like to be that fly on the wall and hear the album months before it was released. So that's going to be really cool. That's the only tidbit I'm going to give you for Thursday's show, and it's a good one for sure. And I do promise there's a lot of Van Halen content on there. Obviously, 90% of it's going to be what's going on in Mark Tremonti's world, but it wouldn't be a Van Halen show without talking some serious Van Halen. So I promise you some good content there. Let me see here. And Will Dunham says, congrats, Eric, and everything you've Mark Tremonti. Let me see here. Oh, this is cool. Dan Willite says, my buddy played ping pong with Tremonti when he played Little Rock years ago. Creed used to keep a table backstage. And there's actually, I'm going to give you one more tidbit. There is another Van Halen story, and I'm not going to tell exactly what it is, but Van Halen Tremonti / related story. It has something to do with the same phone call that came into me from Mark Tremonti when I didn't want to answer it because I didn't know who it was. And a similar experience happened to Mark Tremonti, and we'll talk about that on the show. And I know he'll be laughing when I bring that one up. And some of the things I might surprise Mark with, and other times, a lot of my guests, I tend to send them the questions beforehand just so they can have a look at them and get a little bit comfortable with them, just so they don't have to answer the questions back to me like in an email or a text message or anything like that. It just lets them know where I'm going with the show, and they're not going to get blindsided with something that they don't want to talk about, right? But there'll be a couple fun ones I know I can safely say and I can get away with without telling them about. Alan Speak says, Wolfie next. You know what? That'd be great. That'd be really cool. I'm welcome to have anybody from the camp on the show. The door is always open, and I'm sure if the offer ever come through, it's not going to be no, I can't have you on the show. Trust me, I'll make arrangements and do whatever I'm doing. If I'm on the other side of the world, I'll be in a remote somewhere and I'll get them on the show. So let me see here. What else have I missed here? So we talked about the blocks. Okay, we go down to the bottom here. I'm tending to go all over the place backwards and forwards here now because I've totally messed up my chat. Jeff Alexander says, you need to get that feed or monitor in front of you, laugh out loud. Why is that? So I don't turn my head? I can do it, actually. I can actually do it, no problem. I can do it, bring it over here, but it's my comfort zone over here right now. Pretty soon, too, like I say, I want to have a producer. The producer will be doing all the chat stuff, and we're going to get Poison Ivy in here once in a while, too, and she'll be, just off to the side, she'll be doing all the chat. She'll be reading the chat as well, too, so that'll help me tremendously. Let me see here. Spencer says, guys, stop what you're doing and try playing Unchained and D standard. Let me see here. Howie's always says, Vera says, hi. That's Howie's better half. She's enjoying the show, has joined the page. Oh, fantastic. Tell her thank you very, very much. I appreciate that. Great support. She sounds like a really great girl. Let me see. Will Dunham says, what a massive honor. And Howie says, I'm with Spence. By the way, I hope you've heard Dweezil do Eruption, but he did a cover of Unchained. I'm not sure if I heard him do Unchained, but I did hear him do Eruption, and he's one of the best versions I've ever heard. There's a few people in my life that I've heard do Unchained very, very, very well. Dweezil is probably on maybe the top of that list, if not second. Pete Thorne did an amazing one as well, too. And this goes way back. This is back, if you guys dig back through Pete Thorne's channel, way, way back, he did it like it's back when you couldn't even upload videos longer than 15 minutes. So he did about 5 segments teaching you how to play it. He had the reverb breakdown. I think he was actually playing one of the very first EVH 5153s that had come out. Pretty sure he was playing like a sewer guitar, I think, just a Stratocaster, no Floyd on it, like obviously just a regular Strat style tremolo. I had the sound well and had it right down. I downloaded all those videos and burnt them off to a DVD and just went over them and again and again and again and again. And there's a young kid, I forget his name. I think his name is Peter. I believe he's a fan of the Facebook page. He did a tutorial one time on Eruption as well too. Did it phenomenal. So there's not a heck of a lot of people I can say that I've seen that do it phenomenal. And I don't even put myself in that category because I do not. I'm still chasing that solo. And it's one of the things where I've pretty much given up on. It's like, okay, I'm just not going to get it. I get some nuances of it and have some fun with it, but it's something, why bother killing myself trying to get it? It's just, I appreciate it and I have fun with it. Some of these guys, like your Dweezils, like your Pete Thorns and things like that, just nail it. Al Estrada, he's another good guy as well, too. It obviously can do a lot of Van Halen, has the feel and the tone and everything, right? Has the guitars and the amps and that kind of stuff. So there are some people that really nail that stuff for sure. Frank C says, really enjoying the show. Looking forward to Tremonti. Yeah, that's going to be a fun one for sure. A lot of going to be a lot of Van Halen talk in there, like we said, with the connection he has with Wolf and the family. So it's going to be really cool. Barry 3045 says, hi, how are you tonight? Doing very well. I think everyone's doing very, very cool. Zappa Wow at 9, he worked for Frampton. Yeah, so that's, no, actually, at 9 years old, he went to see, he went to see Frank Zappa in concert, but he worked for, he didn't work for him at 9. That'd be a little different, but, he worked for him a little bit later. And, let me see here. So Mr. BHB Jr., whatever, says 135 now. Is that the distance away from the 3000? Is that what it is? I think that's probably what you're referring to. I'm just going to restore my chat. Bear with me here for a second. And what I'm going to do just to make everyone happy, so I'm not looking off to the side of the screen, I am going to go open my chat open on the other monitor off to the side here. Let's do that. And that way it's all good. Even though the fact I have a very, very powerful Mac computer, with running 3 screens on here, and I'm multitasking a lot of software, and every time you open up a new tab in Chrome, you're tasking your resources a little bit. I mean, as much as like 100 meg or more. And I like to try not to task my system so I don't get any bandwidth issues and slow down and things like that as well too. That's why I open up a little cheap PC off to the side of the screen here, and I run that strictly for the chat. But I got the chat open here now a little bit better, and it's pretty cool as well. Jared Frost says, Al Estrada is awesome. He has Eddie's tone and style down. Yeah, and I have reached out to Al before. And as much as Al is one of these guys that's out there doing the thing on his channel, he's not one to necessarily do interviews and things like that. So at least at this point, and Al, if you're watching, the invitation is always open if you want to come on. It's just he was very polite and humble and said, no, I don't know if I'd be good for the show or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And so I respect that. If you're uncomfortable, not a problem at all. And the same thing is with my guys at EVH as well too. I've reached out to them at EVH Gear and asked them to come on, and they know the offer is always there too. But they like to be on the other side of the fence, the other side of the camera. They don't necessarily like to be in front of it. But the offer may present itself to those guys later on and get some really cool information from EVH Gear too as well. Let me see here. Is that the episode where Pete's spoke into the pickup? I don't remember if that was or not. I have to go back and watch. It's been a long time now since I've watched it, so I'm not sure. And how he always says, I saw Frank at the age of 9. I was 29 when I teched for Frampton. For the record, I have teched for quite a few artists, but not Dweezil. Oh, so I'm mistaken on that one. So I apologize for being incorrect on that. He's a good friend, and I've been lucky to spend a lot of time with him. Sorry for my error on that one. And Spence says, you use Mac? Woohoo, Mac buddies. Yes, I swear by Mac. I'm not one of those hypocrites because I've used PC for my whole life. I still like PCs. I use them, like I say, for the chat, and I use them when I go see clients and things like that. I bring my laptop with me, and we have a lot of PCs in the house, but Mac is my new thing, and I swear by it. And Bill Comporse is saying, is it just me or is the bass cranked up on Eric's mic? You know what? If it sounds a little bit bad, I'll bring it back a bit for you. It very well could be. I've taken off a little bit of bass, so let me know if that sounds a bit better. And Howie's always says, I'm especially thankful to have taken his master classes, and I highly recommend them. A great teacher. That'd be very, very cool. And speaking of the classes, that's another thing. As I'm giving a lot of tidbits for Thursday's show. Going to be talking with Mark Tremonti about his the meet and greets they have on the Alter Bridge tour, which actually starts tonight. Literally, they're on tour tonight. The first show tonight, and I think they're in New Jersey, if I'm not mistaken. But you can also buy tickets for certain shows and get a guitar clinic with them as well too. So you can get a guitar lesson from Mark Tremonti directly, which would be very, very cool. And I think they do them in groups of 6 or 8 people, whatever. And Howie says Eddie's response to saying Dweezil to Eruption was, he does me better than I do. That's pretty cool. And Bill Compora says, there you go. So the bass sounds a little bit better. No problem. I'll make a note of that and try to save that as a preset. Adam Power says, we'd like to hear the story behind Dweezil's 5149 and a half Shamer guitar. I think it was auctioned off a while back. I'm sure Howie could probably elaborate on that one a little bit more if he's at liberty to say, because he knows about as much about Dweezil as I do about Eddie Van Halen. It's a lot, so it's pretty cool. Let me see here. Dirty Ape says, I have to go to band rehearsal and crank up my 5153. Always look forward to the next show. Thank you, Eric and Poison. EVH TV rocks. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Gary Davlin saying good evening. John Peacock says, Mark Tremonti is an amazing guitarist. Definitely pick his brain about his Bluetooth amps. Okay. And Dan Willight says, my friend was a DJ at the time said Mark was very cool. He is a very down to earth guy. When I was talking to him, I didn't feel like I was talking to a rock star. I was almost like okay, this isn't an assistant for Mark Tremonti. This is Mark Tremonti. Are you correct? And it was pretty neat. Like, it was just totally laid back. One of the most easy conversations I've ever had. And I was expecting it to be, a list of demands, and I can only do this, and I've only got a 15-minute window, and it was great. He probably would have talked as long as I wanted to talk, but there was, it was very brief. So we'll probably be doing a test early in the afternoon on Thursday, and then get ready for a really, really cool show. But like I say, anyone that's just joining the program now, that are kind of new, coming in late here, go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/EVH Gear Discussion. Go down to events. There's only one event at the moment. I don't usually do events for the shows. I just did it for this one to promote it a little bit more. And you'll see the Mark Tremonti event. Click on that and just let me know that you're coming. It'd be great to see a nice round of people coming, and share it with your friends. I'd be so eternally grateful. Like, this show has succeeded because of you guys and girls. That's how it's grown. I mean, I push some buttons and I put some production into the show, but the growth it's been organic. It's been all shared by you guys. I don't buy views. I don't buy likes. I don't buy visitors and things like that, subscribers. It's all organic. It don't even advertise at this moment. It's just word of mouth, and it's spreading really good. So if you RSVP whatever on the Facebook event saying that you're coming, share it with a few of your friends. So a lot of you have already done that, and I thank you for that. It'll be a really, really good turnout, and Mark will be really thrilled, and may want to come back again as well too if it was a good night. And I'm sure it will be. You guys always make it a good show with the live chat and things like that. And I'm definitely going to have to be on my toes in the chat on that one, because I know there's going to be questions coming in. I'm probably not going to, just to give you a heads up now as well too, I'm probably not going to get to say everything that everyone is saying. I'll probably be doing Barry's joining us, Dan Willi's joining us, John Peacock's joining us. I probably won't get to everything that you're saying, but I promise I'll try my very, very best, fingers crossed, that I can at least acknowledge everyone. And if there's any questions, ask Mark about this. I'll do my best to funnel that. And I may not even get to all of those, because like I said, there's a bunch of questions on the itinerary, but I will do my very best to at least acknowledge everybody, because that is very, very important to me, that first of all, you're here, and number one, that's the least I can do is say your name and thank you for joining. So I promise I'll do that. What else have I possibly missed? We talked about Dweezil doing Eruption. It's really cool when I see Adam Powers. I was thinking Austin Powers for a moment. I saw a lot of shares today on Facebook. I'm a huge Austin Powers fan, religious. I know the movies so well I could speak the dialogue of all the movies. And I guess it's the 20th anniversary today. So that's pretty cool. And I'd love to see the fourth one come out. I think there is rumor of it. I'm a big Mike Myers fan, so I'd love to see that. Sorry I got off on a tangent there, but I saw Adam Powers, and one of those things, you're just Freudian slips, you're thinking Austin Powers. So that's really cool. Let me see here. Let me see here. Howie Zowie. Hi, Howie. Was Mark Wallaman part of that master class? And I'm sure Howie will answer that in a moment. I'm not sure who that was. And Will Dunham says, much love, everyone. EVH rocks. So not a heck of a lot else I want to go over with you guys tonight. 48 people still watching. This is phenomenal. I mean, it's not a regular night for me by any means. And so maybe that's kind of nice. Maybe no one else is doing anything on a Tuesday night. It's kind of cool to have everyone join. 49 people watching. Love it. By the way, too, I always like to give back to people that take their time to sponsor the show and make things, some of the things go on behind the show. The really cool 5150 Van Halen 51 and it's 50 on the back baseball tee jersey I'm wearing right now. You can get it at the vanhalenstore.com. I think it's on sale around $20. I did put the link to it in the description down below. So go grab yourself one. Really, really cool shirt. Got them in all different sizes. And, tell them that EVH Gear TV send them your way. And when you place your order, and I know they'll be very appreciative of that, just to know where it came from. It's my least I can do for Jeff and the team at Van Halen News Desk and Van Halen Store for being a sponsor of mine, since I only had 300 subscribers. Not too often do you get a sponsor at 300 subscribers. And now just about to celebrate the 3,000. And the way I look at it is, one thing that was really cool, and I don't like to give too much away about what's coming up, but Robert Baker and I were talking off the air, of course. It was just a Skype call. We were talking about the growth of the channel, and he had given me some positive feedback. But when I told him, he goes, well, you're just about to hit 3,000, right? And I said, yeah, just pretty close to it. And I told him how long it's taken to do that. And he said that was really, really good. Because even though his channel is insane, he's just shy of 100,000, which technically he'll get he's entitled to get a play button from YouTube, which is pretty cool. They have him for 100,000, for $1 million, 500,000, all those kind of things. And it's a real celebration. It's what, YouTubers earn that. and it's a plaque and an award that you hang on the wall. And I don't want to think that far away, because that seems like eons away. But I also never thought I'd even hit 1,000, let alone 2,000 and almost at 3,000. So I said a while back, I said when that 3,000 mark, I don't know why I chose 3,000 as the goal, but I said it, and I'm sticking to it. And I'm going to give away a guitar. And it's here. It arrived faster than I expected. Went out for a brief trip out today, come back, and Poison Ivy texts me. She goes, "There's a guitar here for you." And I'm like, "Does it say Mystic Blue Metallic on it?" Because who knows what shows up at the door. And sure enough, it was this guitar that I just unboxed here tonight. And really, really cool. So everything looks good on that guitar. I don't think it needs much of a setup. I might tune it later on very carefully, just make sure everything plays, doesn't have any bad fret issues or anything like that. And if it's all good, I'm going to safely wrap it and put it back in the box, and I'm going to put it off to the side where it can't get bumped or banged, and it's going to stay there till I get an EVH gear gig bag. I'm going to purchase one of those, and I'll throw in some really cool EVH Gear TV swag and stuff like that as well too. Load you up with some pics, some really cool pics I've got kicking around, maybe some custom ones. And someone's going to have a really, really, really cool gift, and that's going to be coming very, very soon. I promise that. Let me see here. Cutter Savage joining. Hey, everyone, joining late. Cutter Savage sent me a really, really cool t-shirt a while back, and I wore it on one of the shows. Actually, I didn't wear it on the show, I don't think, but I did take a picture of it when I was doing some show prep, and I shared it with Cutter and some people on Facebook, and it was really, really cool. Thank you for that shirt. And what did we see? Van Halen. I'm going backwards. So Van Halen, yes. So I'll come out to Jared's question or his comment about Van Halen. Howie Zowie says Eddie gave him lessons at 12 and also produced the first single. He also played on it and joined him to perform in his junior high talent show. Very, very cool. Jared Frost says, I'm seeing Van Halen Saturday night in Dallas. I'm super excited that I've reached out to Derek Fuller and can't wait to meet him. Derek is a super, super guy. And Jared, I'm not sure if you've seen my interview with him. It was one of the first bigger interviews I did way back in the day, a year ago. And Derek was really, really cool. Talked to, a lot about, the pressures of being in a tribute band, and especially a Van Halen tribute band. We shared a lot of our common bond with that, because I used to play, as a lot of you know, in the Van Halen tribute band. And there's a lot of pressure that goes on. You got a lot of guys standing there like this at the front row, and usually if you do your job well, they like that. Next thing you know, they're buying you a beer and his fists in the air, which is really cool. And Derek can do that every time. He can win him over every single time. He looks the part, and that's one of the things I really respect about that band too. They go the extra mile. Talent is only one thing that makes a tribute band successful. Talent is what's to be expected. But I see some bands out there, they're, wearing baseball caps and not even doing anything to look the part. Like, even if you can't play 100%, the more you can make your image good, the more you can sell people. You could be 50% the guitarist of what Derek is, but you put the image and everything else into it, you look like you're really good. You know what I mean? And I'm not just using the comparisons that way. I think they're one of the best Van Halen tributes. I have some other friends on Facebook as well too that have great tributes as well too. So just you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it, Jared. It's gonna be a really, really good show. I guarantee you're gonna be a huge fan. You'll be trying to follow them as far as you can travel to see them for sure. So yeah, Spence says, how are you going to do the giveaway? You mentioned you're not using social media randomizers. I may still do that. I've got a really good plugin for my website, at evhgeardiscussion.com. I may still use it. It's just, the only reason why I didn't like it last time is that it just opened up the door for everyone is entitled to win, right? Everyone is entitled to win, and it's gonna be that way. No matter who wins it fair and square. It's just that you get all these contests. I don't want to use, there's certain words I won't use because it's not fair to say. What's the word I'm looking for? The sweepstakes, people just, they want to win the sweepstakes so they can turn around and sell the stuff. If that was the case and maybe they turn around, they won it, and it provided food for their family, well, okay, cool, I'm happy with that. But if someone just wants a quick buck, doesn't play guitar, I really hope you don't win. I really do. I want people to win that can play the guitar and will enjoy it. Maybe it could be a kid for the first guitar, and this could be this thing that just sets this kid on his or her path to success with a musical career or love of music. That could be the case. It could be one of our people in the chat here that have a few guitars and would just like to have an EVH gear guitar. So I'll let you know very, very soon. I'll be tabling it over here with Poison Ivy as well too, who is my sounding board, my confidant, my advisor. Every time I get a good idea, I'll say to her, what do you think of this idea? Nope, you're not doing that. Okay, all right. Even though I think it's a good idea, she'll veto it. And when your lady speaks, you listen. So I'll be doing a kind of a collab with her on that and see what the best way to do it is. And I want to make it fun. I want to make it exciting. I want to make it fair, obviously. But I want to make it so someone who's going to win this guitar is going to really appreciate it. And I know that's impossible to predict. We'll just keep our fingers crossed. So stay tuned for sure. We're getting closer on the giveaway. Tell all your friends to subscribe to the channel. I mean, if you've got an extra YouTube account or a Google account, come on over and subscribe again. And I won't be upset. It just gets us to 3,000 faster. Let me see here. So Cutter Savage says, love Austin Powers as well too. Love it. It's great. I might even watch one tonight. You know what? I'm going to probably pop one on tonight. And I Kill Noobs there says, I love the shows during the week. Helps the week go by faster. I may try to do an off show. If you like that idea, like on a Tuesday night like this or something, maybe I'll try to do an off show where it's nothing really related to the guests that are coming on, and not like just kind of some updates and have some fun, and maybe a Q&A kind of session. If you like that, I'll weigh out the pros and cons of that and see if I can do it. I can tell you one thing. I know Poison Ivy here does not complain when I do shows. She's like, why don't you go do a live show today? You know, if I don't have anything to say, I'm not just going to do a live show. But I have great support for that, so I don't think it'd be too hard to convince her to do another show during the week. Bill, who was saying, Bill Campora says, don't ding my guitar, Eric. Okay, all right. I won't ding the guitar. I'm not saying you're going to win for sure, Bill, but I'll make sure I keep it in good shape. And Cutter Savage likes the week shows as well, 2 weekly shows. Bruce, he's saying hello to Bruce. And Citizen Kane says, I saw the Atomic Punks last summer in Durango, Colorado. It was epic. Those guys put on a great show. Yeah, that's another good example as well. Look at the talent that's come through the Atomic Punks. One show guest, actually, that was on the show here last year, Brian Young. Phenomenal player. Spawned from that band as well, too. It's been a great breeding ground for talent, you know. Phenomenal musicians coming out of that band. Both, you know, even today as well. And Mr. BH says, I agree. I think the winner should play guitar or give it to someone who will play it. Yeah, it's almost like we need to get a registration card saying, yes, I'm a guitar player. I've been playing guitar for 6 months or whatever. And let me see here. Quentin James says, I'm a kid at heart and will play the crap out of it. I know you will. Quentin. And you know what? This is a very, very good question. Scott Yoshinaga says, Eric, have you noticed the link to the EVH 5150 stripe guitar is missing on the EVH Gear site? I did not notice that, but Poison Ivy will agree with me here. And I was going to send an email to my team at EVH just to let them know. It's probably an honest mistake. It could be an intern working on the website could have unpublished a page. I didn't notice a 5150 guitar, but I did notice the standard guitars. If you go to because I was looking up to get a picture of the Mystic blue metallic one I have here. I was going to grab a picture from the EVH site. And the standard, both the one with the transparent ones and then the colored ones, or the hardtails, I guess I should say, the links were broken, you know, and file not found. So I'm going to let them know about that. I think myself, I don't think it's anything to worry about. I think it's just a database error or something that's been unpublished. Sometimes, you know, they get interns working on their websites and social media and stuff like that. So I would check it again tomorrow. I don't think there's no need to run out in the streets and flip over police cars or anything yet. I think everything's still pretty good. So yeah, we won't go to that extreme yet. And Bond, but I did notice it, Scott. Bond Scott, will you sign it? The guitar? No, I won't sign it. I definitely don't want to sign that guitar because that's going to devalue the guitar. I mean, it was cool if Eddie signed it, but I mean, no, I don't want to sign the guitar, and you don't want my signature on a guitar. Thank you for that suggestion, but I'd rather keep it in pristine condition for the winner. And Jared is saying, Atomic Punks played in Durango. Crazy, I used to live there, and it's not the place I would have chosen for a band like that to play. Bunch of hippies up there. You'd be surprised sometimes. It could be a booking agent. I remember when I played in the Van Halen tribute band 5150, our booking agent, who was also a booking agent for a lot of my bands subsequently after that band, sometimes, you know, some booking agents, I'm not going to say all of them, but some of them just, they want the money and the commission, right? Their finder's fee. And we got booked into some country bars that we were ready to be killed when we walked out on stage. They're expecting, some country bluegrass type stuff. And we walk out with the smoke bombs and fire and stripes and all that kind of stuff and loud amplifiers. It did not go over very, very well. So that's maybe the case there. Maybe the booking agent just said, okay, well, here's a spot out here. They'll pay and until you get there, right? So maybe that's the case, Jared. Carter Savage says, totally agree in the winter. I hate when I see a guitar hanging on a restaurant wall. They're meant to be played. Even a beginner guitar could be played by a kid starting out. That's right, for sure. And I mean, this is a good guitar to win. It's a good player. We have a few of the standards here in the house. Absolutely love them. Still, I've always said I still haven't replaced it as my main guitar. The Purple Standard, obviously been food-toned, but plays great. I was playing Eric Jr.'s Purple Standard. He has the same one as me, but it's just non-food-toned, which he wants to get done right away. And I'd say there is one other guitar I got to do his. But it plays great. I was tuning it up for him and doing a little bit of a neck setup for him, and it was great. Just because it hadn't been touched in a while, needed some TLC. Let me see here. Frank C says, how to Floyd Rose Pro install on my PV Wolfgang because I'm so used to the Gibson string spacing. Fits me perfectly now. Wonder if anyone else has done that. I think a few people have. I think there have been a few people who have done that. And it was nice tonight when I took off my PV tremolo on mine. I love the PV Floyd. I think it's one of the closest things to the Floyd of all the brands that are out there that are the licensed ones, like your Music Mans and things like that I'm referring to. I think Adam's stuff with the Futone, the FU2, and those tremolos, I don't have one of those yet. One of these days I'm going to try one of those. Those would blow the PV one away. But I'm just saying all the licensed Eddie's versions of the guitars, I think it's one of the coolest ones other than the EVH Floyd itself here. Very, very cool. Okay, cool. What else we got here? This is cool. Jeff Russell said subbed on this account too. And let me see. Yeah, chat and play some sweet licks, riffs, and hangout kind of show. That's what I Kill Noob says for the idea of doing maybe like a Tuesday show like this. Yeah, I think I might. Dan Wilhite says, hey Eric, your solo shows are great. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm having fun with it. I mean, that's why I started off last year and continuing to go back that direction. Just a one-man show. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. Enjoy it. Carlo Santin says, and Jeff Russell says, yes, I'm a guitar player. Carlo Santin said, it would be great if you could do a show on how to set up an EVH guitar. For as long as I've been playing and I'm not the greatest player around, I still struggle with basic setup. Yeah, I'll do that for sure. I will work that into this year's schedule, and I promise I'll do that. I'll take one off the stand that needs some TLC, and actually I'll even take one that I've even done some work on, and we'll tweak it a little bit more. And we'll get that thing tweaked out really nice. Let me see here. So, Sai Girly play a guitar. I'm not sure if I'm saying that name properly. Sign a cavity cover for me. 2 noobs with love, please. Okay, I can. If you win the guitar, I will gladly sign maybe the inside of the cavity. How about that? I'll do the inside so you're not actually seeing it. If you really want to see my signature, you can take the cavity cover off and have a look at it. Wow, that story is the Shades of Blues Brothers movie. Now you can look back and laugh. Yeah, I'm assuming you're talking about the country bar thing, right? And it was actually pretty funny because we were already hated the minute we walked on stage because they were expecting country. Our drummer at the time got out and did kind of like a Johnny Rotten kind of thing and yelled and screamed at the microphone and then threw the microphone on the ground and it feedback and everything. It was pretty funny. And Poison Ivy will tell you another funny story. That's why I want to get her on the show sometime. We've talked about this a lot, to talk about the cool band stories. There's like a lot of things that actually happen on the show. Like on the talk show here, these guests tell me the coolest thing sometimes. And then I forget that it even happened on the show because when the show's on, I'm taking in chat over here. I'm taking in text messages that come in from people, mainly here from home because Sandra is my acting producer right now. So she's texting me things as well too that are very important for, the flow of the show. So sometimes it's like I'm paying attention, I guess 100%, but I don't realize until after the fact what was said by a guest. And, so same thing with band shows. When you're playing these shows, sometimes you don't remember what exactly happened. She's got the craziest of stories. And one that I do remember that was pretty cool. We're playing another bar out in Sarnia, Ontario, right on the border of Port Huron, Michigan there and stuff like that. And this was an older crowd bar. And I remember coming in there and 2 things happened that was really, really funny. So I'm in there around 8 o'clock and load in. And I'm just tuning my guitar and just tuning on stage. There's only like about 12, 15 people in the bar at the time. Excuse me. And I just had my amp on like bedroom level almost, tuning my guitar. And of course I'm going to check it with my tuner after, but I was just audibly tuning my guitar. And this guy comes over in a motorized scooter and he backs up and he's got all these lights flashing on his motorized scooter and he had a better light show than we did. I'm like, wow, this is great. And he goes, first he said 2 things to me. He says, you're not going to be that loud all night, are you? I said, sir, we're going to be a heck of a lot louder. I'm just tuning my guitar. He goes, well, when are you going on? This is like around 8 o'clock. I said, we'll be on around 10:30, 11 o'clock. beep, beep, puts it in reverse. He backs up, almost runs over some of my guitars and leaves. But the cool thing was, we're like, man, we wish we could get that guy back. He had a cooler light show than what we had on stage. And this little, what do they call those things? Those weasel scooters, or what do they call those things? I forget the name of those things, but those motorized scooters, right? So it was pretty cool. And we'll get some more good stories like that too from Sandra Lee on the show. Quentin James says, most of my videos are on a Mexican fat strat. If I get an axe with a Floyd, I would lose my freaking 80s mind. It's very hard for me to play guitar without a Floyd. You see me playing that beautiful USA PV that I have with a hardtail, and there's been a couple times you'll see me there. I did them on the show. You can go back and watch for it. And I go to reach for the whammy bar and it's not there, and I make it look like I'm kind of going, like just reaching for something else. And meanwhile, I was like, you idiot, you know what you just did? You went to grab a trem arm that isn't there. It was pretty funny. And there you go. I like that. Cutter Savage says, what kind of music do you usually have? Both kinds, country and Western. Yeah, I've heard that one a few times. Quentin James says, I play lead, so I don't need 3 skinny strings. And Cutter Savage, that is funny, Citizen Kane saying. Let me see. So Frank McNeil says, when you do the setup show, I've been told not to mess with the Floyd Rose Bridge, leave it factory, and to always adjust the truss rod. I try not to adjust the height of the Floyd much, unless of course you're getting a weird arc. Now by arc, parallel with the body. If it's parallel with the body, cool. If it's leaning backwards, you don't want that. You don't want it leaning too forward either. Obviously forward's going to be a problem, because if it's not making contact with the body, then you've got a problem if you're using your D-tuner. So you might want to make sure you're flush. At the same time, you don't want it going backwards either. There's because that puts added pull back at the back of the neck as well too, and you could have some buzz out, some fretting in the upper registry of the neck. So yeah, don't mess with that too much. And another thing you don't want to do either, even though I've done it a few times, and I know people are going to shout at me for saying this, but you shouldn't adjust the bridge post with tension on the strings. I've done it a couple times. I don't do it a lot, and I'm sure everyone has done it at least a couple times. It's not good, because you can wear down the knife edge on the Floyd Rose. If you're using a really, really good Floyd Rose, I would recommend not doing that, because you don't want to wear out a knife edge on a good Floyd Rose. If you're doing it on the cheaper guitar, well, the metal's softer on those things anyways. It's probably going to go eventually in the long run anyways, but I don't encourage you to do it. I'm just saying I have done it, and I'm going to be honest and say I've done that a couple times. I just don't suggest doing it. So I don't mess with that too much. The truss rod, obviously, you want to be careful you don't over tighten it. It's one of those things where slight turns is nice. Once you get to the point where you're starting to hear creaking of the neck, be careful. If you don't know what you're doing, it's always a good idea to go see a trusted professional, pay for a good setup the first time, and ask if there's any chance you could watch, or if they could give you a couple pointers. Obviously they don't want to lose the business, and there's also some really good videos on YouTube. Just make sure you're looking at a tutorial on YouTube that's got a lot of likes and a lot of good comments, so you can trust it as a pretty good source. I can't necessarily give you good examples of that right now, but YouTube is a very valuable thing for learning things, for tutorials. So there'll be some good setup videos on there as well too. Another thing, like I do too, I know even Adam Reaver does this as well too. Tonight when I did the PV Floyd, what I do just to make sure my intonation gets back in the same neighborhood, so to speak, just so I'm not starting from scratch, I'll take a picture of my Floyd right above the Floyd, and I'll get like a very, very good close-up of where my saddle positions are. And you can generally, now to the point, I can do it by eye for the most part, just on a rocked arch, your low E string being the furthest back, A string a little further forward, D string a little further forward, and then your G string will start again like the low E, I should say, and repeat. So it's like a staggered staircase. And then that way it gets you in the right frame of mind anyways. Let's go back over to the chat here as well too. What else did I miss here? So that was Frank's comment on the setup show. And little Erica's jumping in here for a quick second. He's coming in. I think he wants to take a peek at that guitar. Quentin James says, what's the difference between a banjo and a trampoline? You take your shoes off to jump on a trampoline. There you go.
What if you jump on a banjo?
Yeah, I jump on a banjo would be good. You want to say hi?
Hello, everybody.
Eric Jr. Bane rocks.
How's everyone doing tonight?
I think everybody's doing good. Yeah, doing good.
I love.
That's a nice guitar, isn't it? Mm-hmm.
Well, it's. Oh yeah, there is still a little kind of a reflection. I didn't.
Oh yeah, there's a sparkle to it for sure. Continue on here. So Straight from the Blues Brothers movies, another one that I love. So for the PV Wolf, he's anyhow truss rod only comment. Yeah, same idea as well too. Same as EVH gear. The nice thing is, usually with your wrenches, the perfect way to do it with the PVs, they give you like a little truss rod rod, I guess, to adjust it. Which I do is, you got your typical 3mm wrench, and then you've got your other smaller wrench. I'm not even sure the diameter of that thing that you use for your saddle mounts. Those screws as well. This will also work. That'll fit inside your wheel, truss rod wheel on any of the guitars. Put it in there. Just give it a slight tweak either way. Clockwise to tighten, counterclockwise to loosen the relief, and so on and so forth. So that's what I use. Yeah.
That was one of the smoothest necks
I know.
I've ever
Isn't that
felt.
something? See, I wasn't kidding. He just felt the neck of the guitar, and it's like it's got filled with baby powder.
It's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like.
All right, who wants a purple guitar? Maybe we'll give you a purple one and we'll keep this one. No,
Please.
just kidding. No, that one's going. That's going to be a nice guitar. When I worked in music retail, didn't matter what the brand was, whether it be Fender or PV or PRS or Washburn or whatever. You could take 10 guitars, the same brand, same model, and you could pick each one you pick up. It's a little different. They're all going to be good, but every once in a while you're like, okay, here we go. This one's a keeper. And that's what this thing was. Coming right out of the box, it was like, okay, we have something really special with this neck. And that's before I even took it out of the plastic material. If you don't believe me, go back and watch that yourself. You watch as soon as I touched the neck of that guitar, I was like, okay, this is a keeper for sure.
That does not deserve to be signed because that's a nice
I know.
guitar.
I don't want to sign the guitar. No one wants my signature, and I'm not going to sign it for sure.
Well, I'm not. What's one of the people who wanted it signed?
Oh yeah, one of them said. I think it was Kill Noobs. He.
If you want it signed, we can. But in our opinion, that's pretty good guitar to not be signed.
Yeah, I'll send you a letter with something and give you a signature instead of that. That way the guitar is yours, and you can have a little something if you want it that bad. There you go. So by the Howie's saying, by the way, Psyche Girly is Vera. Okay, very cool. Thanks for joining in the chat as well too, Vera. And I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to meet you the other day. You were working when I was down to see Howie, but I have a feeling I promised him I'm going to come back. We got a mutual friend, Scott, down the road. I'm not sure how far Scott is from you, Howie, but we want to get together and do some jamming, so I'm looking forward to that. Really looking forward to it. And I've been told that if I bring my Stripe Series guitar down there, that's not going to be coming home. So I better not bring that one. So I'll bring something else. I might bring it as well. We'll let you have a look at that one. Howie's got some great stuff there as well too. And maybe we'll film a little bit of video down there too, because like I say, he's got some really, really cool stuff and a really cool. And when I say they have a jam. Both Howie and Vera play. And from what Howie tells me, Vera plays very, very well. So I'm anxious to see that as well too. And we'll have a nice little jam session and we'll record it. Who knows if they're not too shy about it? Maybe we'll even do a live broadcast, a quick one too. We'll see what happens. And I think that'll be in the near future. What's that?
So I had a guitar idea. For some people, this might be a guitar, right? Mm-hmm. I was thinking, taking a guitar like a blue guitar like that. Mm-hmm. Basically, what you could do is, find like a really light blue guitar like this. Mm-hmm. Because I was thinking about this because I'm getting a light blue fidget spinner, right?
Right.
What I want to do is it could go for the same with the Wolfgang. What you could do is you could pour a lot of red paint, mm-hmm. but you're not painting it over. You're not striping it.
And splatter.
Splatter.
Yeah, that'd be very cool. You guys have seen, Dan Willite knows what I'm talking about because his daughter has got one of these fidget spinners. They're like really popular right now. These little propeller-looking things. And they're spin for like 5 or 6 minutes. Yeah, I like a propeller, and kind of like what Paul Gilbert used to do with his drill, on his guitar. He'd play the guitar with the drill. Well, Dan Willite was doing that on one of his Instagram videos or Facebook videos the other day. He was spinning the thing, and he'd hold up the guitar and play a note. And actually, I did that in my Guitar Wars years ago. The guitar that you own now that I gave you, yeah. The Yamaha. I won a Yamaha Pacifica guitar in a Guitar Wars, and one of the ways, my last final, it was like one of those things where it was like, the Steve Vai head cutting duel in Crossroads, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I'd play something, the other guy, I made it to the finals against this one last guy from Quebec who's amazing, and it was my turn to go. We're going back and forth, back and forth. There's literally a head-cutting duel. So I took a drill, and this wasn't a cordless drill. This was a corded drill. So you can imagine the RPMs on these things. And I took a bolt, 2 nuts, 2 washers, and then I put 3 picks in between, like in the shape of a trillium, like a helicopter or a airplane propeller. And I put it up to my strings in my guitar, and I played the theme song to Andy Griffith. A lot of people won't even know what that is, but the older people here will know what that is, an old TV show. And I played that with a drill at about 45,000 RPM. So it's very cool. But what Junior is saying here as well is he's saying take that on not necessarily this guitar, but a guitar, and put some paint in it, or put it up to paint, and then splatter it with that kind of thing.
To be honest, for some guitars it could be a different type of splatter because for me I think light blue and red splatter would look good, but if you're putting it on orange, that could look good too, like an orange body and red paint.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I think orange body with yellow splatter would look cool.
Well, look at the one guitar Phil Collin has from Def Leppard. He does a lot of that stuff himself. He's got some really, really cool stuff with some splatter looks. That's very, very cool. And a lot of the 80s Jacksons and Charvels and things like that too had that kind of crackle and paint kind of look. It's very, very neat. I'd like to try it sometime. It's a good suggestion, bud. So Frank C said, good evening, PIGH. Frank McNeil says, thank you, Eric. And Mr. BHB Jr. says, haha. Charlie S. says, hey, Eric. And Quentin James says, I was in music retail for 17 years. Love my job. Yeah, I worked about 10 years, 5 years in each local store. We have 3 stores locally to us here. I worked in 2 of them. And sadly now it's kind of funny, the one I frequent the most is one I'd never worked at. And really, really good people there. They've taken care of Eric and I really, really well. We've got his SG guitar there at Christmas time, the Katana amp through them, all kinds of really cool stuff. So, but the experience working in the stores, the first one I worked at was a Fender/PV dealer. And a few other things, but that was their main products. And then the other dealer I worked at was a PRS, and that's how I was introduced to PRS. PRS, Washburn. I'm trying to think what else was the big thing there, but that was the big one. And there he goes. Kill Noob says, great show. I love Don Knott. So he knows totally about the Andy Griffith show. Let me see here. I'd love to watch a live jam. Yeah, I'll talk to Howie and we'll jam a little bit and see how everyone feels, and then we can do a live broadcast. You'll definitely get a kick out of the jam space. It's very very warm, very inspiring is the word I'm looking for. I was trying to describe the living room and the jam room to Boys and Ivy, and you would have loved it. Really, really cool. They have a beautiful older home. Very nice. Let me see here. Darren Moore says, Van Halen News has just posted Dave Lee Roth donated $10,000 to Michael Anthony's Walk for a Cause for his grandson that passed. Phenomenal. That's a great, generous donation. And, and obviously you're not trying to think too far ahead. And I know Michael wouldn't take it for this either. He'd be very appreciative of the donation, but that's certainly a nice feather in the caps of some peace bonds between the band as well, too. Not that necessarily there was any serious rifts between Dave and Mike, but it certainly is a nice gesture, and sometimes good gestures can go a long ways as well, too. So very, very cool. But even let's just take it for that fact alone with the donation. That's fantastic. There's been a lot of cool stuff in the Van Halen news desk lately. Some good stuff. I've been trying to share it as much as possible as well, too. I don't have a lot else to say, folks. I'm not one of these people that will just talk when there's nothing to say. So we were down to about 37 people watching, 40 thumbs up. I appreciate that. It means a lot. And like I say, I'll just ask you one last time. It'll be some nice support for Mark Tremonti. If you can go to the Facebook page at facebook.com/EVH Gear Discussion. And sadly, I can't change the name of the Facebook page. It's going to remain EVH Gear Discussion. I can create another page and invite people over, but I don't want to do that. It's taken so long now. Actually, I think it just broke 1,800 likes today on Facebook, which is nice.
That's a lot.
I'm happy with that. For the length of time I've been doing it. But go over to that page. Like I say, go to events, find the Mark Tremonti event, and RSVP on there. Let me know that you're coming, and we'll have a party. It'll be a big house party with Mark Tremonti. I can't think of a more fun guest to have a party with.
So who are you having Friday?
Robert Baker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Robert Baker. He's great, and he hit 100,000 on his channel.
Wow.
Yeah.
So hopefully, we haven't talked about this yet, but hopefully after that show, maybe we could do another Eric Jr. with the after show.
Yeah, I think we could probably do that.
As long as it's late and Mom doesn't find out that I'm drinking Coke at like 11 in the morning.
Yeah, actually
11.
12 or 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
We did an after show. I think it was last Friday. And we were staying up pretty late, and the boy was running the show. Actually, I'll do that. We'll do that this Friday. He can run the show. It's going to be a late one, I'm sure, probably midnight. And anyone that's still watching, the boy will run the show, and I'll be in the back seat and, just answering questions in the chat and stuff like that. But he's getting pretty good. He's running the command post, and he's doing a really good job. So
did a good job with the last one because I ran the intro and all that.
Yeah, you were able to toggle stuff, and you did a really good job. You got some good potential ahead of you for sure. So listen, I'm going to let everybody go. I want to thank everyone that jumped over in the chat. Phenomenal turnout. So I'll give you the real condensed version of what's going on. We need to get to 3,000 subscribers, and I'm going and actually,
30 days.
Yeah, I'm going to just have a real quick look at the channel for a second to see where we are. If I hover over my name here, it says what? And running slow. Let's have a quick look here. Bear with me.
I heard about this.
2,867. So we're very, very close. All we have to do is hit 3,000 subs, and the contest will be announced that day. So I'll be working with Poison Ivy here to work out the logistics on that and have a really cool and exciting medium to do it. And then hoping. I was hoping to have an announcement tonight to tell you about this next big thing that's coming. But like I say, I can't announce things until they're official, and I need to have the official word from this individual, I will say for now, and I think that's going to come as early as Thursday. So we might have the announcement on Thursday, and if that's the case, Thursday night with Mark Tremonti, you're going to see a completely new intro. I'm not going to be saying my lines anymore because I screw them up sometimes, and it might be funny. People might say, dude, you have 3,000 subscribers or less than 3,000 subscribers and you're talking about lines on the thing. That's all serious. I take my thing. I rehearse lines, welcome to EVH Gear Discussion, this and that and other stuff, because number one, I have sponsors that sponsor the show. I want to make sure they're mentioned. I want to make sure, people, know who the guest is of the evening. And the less things I have to say, the less room for error. So there's going to be a new intro, new sponsors, continued sponsor. There's going to be some really cool technology and a really awesomely cool look. I mean, you might think this looks pretty cool with, I've got the thing on the side of the screen where it says, pedal snake, idea, bench, EVH, Drymon, futon, all that kind of stuff. You're going to see that. You're going to see a lot more. It's going to be as high tech as you can possibly get in a home run talk show. It's going to be pretty cool. And I'm hoping that happens on Thursday because you guys will be not only in for a treat having Mark Tremonti, that's going to be the icing on the cake, the huge, celebration, but it's going to be the cool look. And don't say what it is because I know you know what it is. I know. You can blurt things out sometimes. Yeah, don't say it.
If I wasn't related to you, which I'm not saying I don't want to.
You can't win the guitar.
Because I love you very much, and lots of people in the chat think you're like the coolest dad ever, and which you are.
Thank you.
So the thing is if I wasn't related to you and I heard about this, I would have clicked the video faster than a hummingbird flapping its wings.
There you go. That's right.
Especially if it was like the tour relic.
Sadly, you are related. You can't win the guitar. But you know what? Looking at that guitar, I think it might be one we have to put on the list of ones to get.
Oh, we're going to share it because it's probably going to be yours.
Yep. Let me see here. Let's finish up with the last few questions over in the chat, and then we'll let everybody go. I'd love to stay with you all night here on a Tuesday night. I know everyone's enjoying it.
Why I can't stay up that long?
I know, bedtime. Yeah, what time is it? Yeah, you've got an hour to go before bedtime. But at the same fact, too, I mean, I could ramble forever, and I don't want to ever wear out my welcome. If you guys want to see me doing a show on a Tuesday night or something like that, I at least want to make it fun for you and not just drag it out and milk it for, there's nothing else to talk about.
Don't milk it for views.
That's
kids.
Right. That's right. So I think they're saying that hi to you. Good evening, Eric. That's Frank C. saying it to you. Let me just go back. We're talking about Andy Griffith. Cutter Savage is saying Andy Griffith played later wasn't Don Knotts in that Mr. Limpet movie where he was a fish. Random movie facts. And Jeff Russell says yes, he was also Mr. Furley on Three's Company. I love that show. I love that show for several reasons, and some that I won't say because the boys in the room. Steve Anderson says Darren Moore totally cool. Hope I get Eddie. I hope Eddie gets going. Okay, there we go. Don played an animated fish. Yep. Let me see here. Yes, Mr. Furley. Howie Zowie. It's giving the horns up. Thomas Santiago says, great show, Eric. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And this was just an announcement tonight, so I appreciate that. If you guys enjoy that, then I think you'll enjoy Thursday and Friday and subsequent shows coming up, some really big ones. I got Mark Slaughter coming on the show. Did I tell you that? Mark Slaughter is coming on the show. It's going to be great. I'm going to reach out.
I'm excited for Mark Tremonti, too.
Very, very much. And speaking of which, Mike Himmel, a good friend and a previous show guest as well, too, is obviously he did some recording with Mark. And he was just announced that he's going to be doing at least one of the shows with Mark Slaughter. So I want to get Mike back on the show. It's been long overdue. So I want to have him come on and maybe just after the first show with Mark Slaughter and talk about how that's going, talk about his recent guitar convention, the stuff with Boss and all those kind of things as well. So Mike, I want to get you back on the show soon. Also want to get Jay Palmer and Craig Rundles on the same show. Those guys, two master shredder extraordinaires. I want to get them on at the same time. We'll do some guitar playing. There's going to be lots more playing on the show, guaranteed, very, very soon. Let me see. Max Reverse says, cheers, y'all, Tora Tora, Cutter Savage. And And let me see. Steve Darren Moore says, Steve, I'm sure Eddie has done something, but he usually isn't public about it, like what he's done for Jason Becker. Exactly. Eddie is a very, very giving individual, and a lot of times it's not about the public knowledge. He doesn't necessarily want people to know what he's doing, and he doesn't need the trophy, so to speak, for a donation. So he's done a lot. Recently too with George Lopez and the signed guitar and things like that. He does a lot of that kind of stuff, giving guitars to the schools and Mr. Holland's Opus and things like that. Just he's a very, very giving individual, and everyone that I've encountered that's had a good personal relationship with Eddie he's like he'll give you the shirt off his back. So very, very, very nice. Steve Anderson says, I like Eric Jr.'s shirt. Very cool. Star Wars. Let me see here. 1968 is in the house. And Dino Smith says, what happened to the other host? Love the show. Just a parting of ways. Just one of those things where it didn't work out. And best way to say it, to remain respectful to everyone. Dan Willite says, great job, guys. Steve Anderson says, send that son Bruce Mann. Quentin James, I can't wait to win the Noobs guitar. So it's going to be a fight between Quentin James and Kill Noobs. Howie says, play us out. The little boy, I'll tell you in a second. He'll give you some music here in a second. And Steve Anderson says 29 sleeps until June in the EVH 5150 guitar. Going to be phenomenal. I'm going to be bringing that one into the house here right away as well too. The boy is already waiting to play it, so looking forward to it. So listen, everyone. Again, I could go all night long, but I don't like to wear out my welcome. Always go out on a high note. Thank you very, very much for watching tonight. The contest is going to go right away to all your friends. Subscribe. The channel is lighting up. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me.
Don't tell your friends I know you want to win the guitar. Don't let them compete with you.
It's one of those double-edged swords, right? They tell their friends it gets the subscribers up to 3,000. The contest starts faster. However, now we've got that many more people that can potentially win. So it's like, do I want to tell people or do I want to just wait? It's a catch-22. If I was in the contest, I'd be kind of confused too. Tomorrow, I probably will go live tomorrow during the day, thinking mid-afternoon, just because I've got an old high school friend coming over. Has a guitar here that he's going to be bringing here that I sold to him years ago. And it'll be kind of neat just to, one of the first times you'll see me playing a Les Paul. And it's kind of nice. You'll like it.
A Les Paul?
Not a Gibson Les Paul, but it's a decent copy, quite cool copy.
Is it an Epiphone?
No, I'll show. We'll see it tomorrow. You'll see it tomorrow when you come home from school. It was a company I used to endorse years ago. I had that, and I had a double neck, a 6-string, 12-string from them as well too. And I just parted ways with the company. But cool. It'd be nice to see it again. It's an old family member coming back for a couple hours, which is great. So it'll be Rob, my friend Rob Ashby. He'll be here tomorrow for a little bit. Let me see here. If I win, I'll send Noobs a Quentin James guitar pick. There you go. Fantastic. Poison Ivy saying good night to everyone. And if I win, Q, you can come clean it. There you go. Fantastic. I'm going to turn it over to the little man. And actually, you want to say your lines as the new you? Okay, so what's your lines?
So we're going to repeat it.
All right.
I'm going to do it with the same guitar because we did this on the birthday thing.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. You're going to see something from 7 years ago, and you're going to see the same thing happen right now. So here's little Eric Jr. in the present tense. Then we're going to go back 7 years. All right, just watch it don't bump the blue guitar. Okay, bring it closer.
Okay. So you have to say your lines too.
Hey, what kind of guitar are you playing?
Hi, my name is Eric, and I'm playing the Wolfgang guitar.
And here we are, 7 years ago. Take care, everyone. Love you guys so much. Subscribe, do all that good stuff. See you real soon.
My name is Eric, and I'm playing the Wolfgang guitar.
Video production services provided by Design 39 Media. Visit design39media.com for all your website, photography, and video production needs.